Welcome back to the Pyramids Podcast. I'm your host, David Kahn, and I'm joined today by a very interesting fellow. This man is a conscious evolutionist. He is a master of human design. He does body work, and he also leads something at the Pyramids called Awakening the Heart Ceremony. So I'd love to welcome today Martijn Vroemen to the show. How are you doing, Martijn?
Amazing.
Yes.
Yes. Another beautiful day in paradise.
And you seem to make the most of the beautiful days by getting a good tan.
Yeah,
You spend a lot of time on the beach, don't you?
I do. I love surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surfing is what brought me to Bali first.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. In 2007. So that's already 16 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, surfing made me come here first. Yeah.
Right. Is that before you've discovered a heartfelt connection to your spirituality, or
Yes,
is that
totally. Yeah.
Wow.
I was living a very ordinary duality life
Oh, cool.
before.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you woke up and, from what I can see, went pretty deep.
Yeah. I don't like to go shallow. I like to go deep.
Yeah. And that's in all areas of life, right?
Yeah. Totally. I do like to surf very shallow waves too.
Oh.
Because they tend to be more scary. There's less people.
So you're going deep. You're going deep with the shallow waves, essentially. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I really love to hear, because everybody here has their own connection with spirituality. All the facilitators and people that practice at the Pyramids achieve, but you actually went to a modern day mystery school.
Yes.
How did you come into contact with that, and what was that experience like? Like, I'm sure people are probably leaning in right now, being like, "Oh, he's been to a mystery school. What is that?"
Mystery school. Yeah. It's something that has to do with mysticism. It's not something that is into elitism or an exclusivity. It is a school for everyone. And it is a school, above all of that, also a school that would say there's not one way to truth, but there's multiple ways to truth. So they would never say, this is the only school you need to go to, which is something that you a lot of the times
It's not a fundamentalist mystery school.
It's not a guru kind of school, It's like the school where you're being taught to become your own guru, to stand in your own sovereignty and to make up your own mind. And how I got into it was kind of like, I was all of a sudden, when I was in 2014, attracting women into my life who were already a little bit ahead of me, so to speak. And I was already meditating by that time and doing some spiritual things here and there. But then I started dating a girl whose mom was already a medium.
Mm.
And she started already looking into her glass ball and telling me that this is probably where you're gonna go to, and this is probably what's gonna be interesting for you. So through her, I got into reading a few books that went into the Awakening the Heart mystery school of the School of Remembering, which is the mystery school that tells us that we're not doing anything new here. Everything that we're doing now, we've already done before. And this life is all about remembering everything that we've already done before. So the Awakening the Heart that I teach is also something that we've already done before. It's not the first time that we do this. Our soul already knows, but the mental body, the intellect, kind of like it's a little new for. And that's kind of like how I got into it. So there was other people coming into my path that kind of like opened my curiosity to learning more about these schools. And it came from like the spontaneity, the pull of my own soul that said like, yes, this is who I want to be. This is where I want to go to, basically. Yeah.
I have a question for you on that. So that part that you say is we've been here before, we've done this before, and then you said like the intellect, the emotions, like that part doesn't remember. So it almost sounds like there's parts of us that we're aware of that are just in this lifetime, like just like the brain's memories of things that have happened to this life. But then there's another part of us that we might not necessarily be aware of in everyday life, but that allows us to tap into this much deeper memory bank of like maybe other forms of existence that happen.
Totally. So if you dive into consciousness and you dive into the map of consciousness, for instance, of Dr. David Hawkins, which was a spiritual psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
We have to call him a spiritual psychiatrist because most psychiatrists they're only looking into the mind, basically. What you come to conclude is that our conscious mind is only 10%, and that is the part that gets born into a young born baby, and then needs to remember everything again. But in the subconscious, we hold all of the memories that we have already collected from the past into the subconscious. And the subconscious is held in the inner child, or the inner child holds on to the subconscious. And the inner child is the part inside of ourselves that keeps coming back around. So you could kind of like say that the polarities of feminine and masculine energy are the polarities that every lifetime we get a new masculine and we get a new feminine, and they need to remember those things. But the memory bank is actually already in the inner child who holds on to the subconscious.
Wow, that's a really misleading name.
Yeah.
It's like we've given the key
Yeah.
to the kid.
Yeah.
And the kid holds the key to all the doors of
Yeah.
knowledge at the library.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
and it's interesting though, because I think a lot of people talk about how powerful inner child work is.
Mhm.
So I'm not trying to dismiss it here. I'm just being a bit playful with the name.
Yeah.
But it sounds like this is actually a key passageway into a much more deeper, richer, and wider experience of life.
Yes, totally. Yeah, the inner child or the subconscious is also the only way we are able to connect into our higher selves. We cannot connect into our higher selves from the intellect. We cannot connect into the Akashic records or the universal library that holds records of every living being in the universe from the intellect. We have to do that through connecting into what you already said, had the childlikeness in each and every one of us. That is the inner child, and through the inner child, we are able to make those things happen.
Yeah, I mean, the intellect is just like a fancy filing cabinet.
Yeah.
Right? It's like things that have happened to us in the past. It's not even that fast. We think it's fast, but these other parts of us are much faster, more present.
Yeah.
The intellect is slow and it can't be present. Yeah. So if we put that in charge, it just takes things it's seen in the past that it thinks worked and tries to project them into the future.
Yeah.
Right? Versus actually accessing the invention of now, which you're saying happens through the heart.
Exactly. Yeah.